why go racing? Racing is hard. It breaks cars, it breaks people, it breaks hearts. A lot of the time it's miserable. It's wet, cold, long, hot, unfair. It's not called endurance racing because it's short and easy. This is the motorsport story of the Mustang GT3, the iconic Ford Mustang. A car that's been engaged in competition around the world for decades. Drag racing, stock cars, drifting, sports car racing. And now, for 2024, the top level of GT endurance racing. You can stay home, take it easy, and build regular street cars, or you can show up at racetracks around the world with a carbon fiber body, V8-powered Ford Mustang, and try your best for success. It's almost time to go racing with the new Mustang GT3. The Ford Performance and Multimatic Motorsports teams are 4 months away from the first event with the new car at the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona. And this is the first rollout for the 2 newly built chassis that will be running under the factory team banner at that event.
Hey, when it started to rain,
You come straight in.
hey, when it started to rain, when it
I
started,
did extra that.
did you really?
Yeah.
Road America, you always get some rain here and there. You know, with brand new race cars, you just don't want to take huge risk, and it was just like mist, slippery, mist, slippery, and then kind of go away.
We got a lot of new cars. We don't want to crash them up. So 2 brand new GT3 cars. It's chassis number 4 and 5. They are the IMSA Pro entries, and they literally just came together last week. Those cars will race in the full season IMSA. It's a GTD Pro entry for Ford Multimatic.
GT3 is essentially the race versions of what you can buy on the street. For us, it's based off the Mustang, so it looks like a Mustang. It's got racing suspension, racing brakes, racing tires.
Still a lot of regulations around it, so you just cannot come up and cut the roof and cut the floor and make it longer, wider, so the base has to be there.
And GT3 is really a global platform, so the same rule set that you race in IMSA, you can race in the World Championship, you can race in the British Championship, you can race in the Japanese Championship, you can race in Australia.
Now GT3 is the top GT category, and it gives us the opportunity to race as a factory. Just a great opportunity for our Mustang road car to now compete in racing series all around the world.
This test is the first time these specific IMSA cars have hit the track in anger, but this program has been in the works for almost 2 years. Working with the best technical partners in the business, Ford Performance has brought Multimatic Motorsports back again for the construction and support of the vehicles. And Malcolm Wilson's M Sport, known around the world for their success in world rallying, are working alongside the internal Ford Performance team on the construction of a new world-class Coyote-based 5.4-liter normally aspirated V8 GT3 engine. Although the design and development of the car has been ongoing for a while, the first time an early test car was rolled off the hauler was earlier this year in Sebring in March. A shakedown and development run for the drivers and car, which found some issues that needed resolving. And the teams have spent the summer doing just that, refining parts, updating calibrations, and getting the cars to a point where the drivers can find the feel and speed needed to be successful at Daytona and beyond.
Puts the load in the sidewall really nice. I feel the sidewall tough, but then it's almost like the car over rolls and it gets the rear to go free. And to me, the roll front is a little softer than the roll rear.
Ford really is a family company. So when you're starting a new program, you naturally go to the people that have worked really well with you in the past, that have delivered, and you see it in our driver lineup as well. And to have Joey Hand and Harry Tignell and Dirk Mueller part of the development program and part of the racing program, just like they were on the GT program, it's important to make sure we do it at the right level.
I haven't been gone since 2019 when we last raced the Ford GT. I've still been doing Ford stuff. I mean, Dirk's been doing stuff with Multimatic, and Harry also. So we've all been around, a lot of us hoping that this program was coming.
Joey and I, we have so much history in the Ford GT program. Obviously, we won a few races, championship, definitely the highlight, Le Mans in 16. Yeah, so it's all coming back together. I mean, I never really left.
It's really great to be back. I never really felt like I left, if I'm honest. When I raced the Ford GT program in the WC from 2016 to 2019, I really felt like Ford was a real family team. and you really sense that from the Bill Ford and the Ford family all the way down to the race team and the mechanics.
These people behind me are the professionals. They hire me to drive the race car and to paint a picture of what the car is doing to the engineers. But those people are the ones that make the race car better for me to race and me to drive.
So our group at Ford, we are in charge of calibrating all of our race programs that are done in-house.
Day to day is a lot of looking at data. It's a lot of making sure that our hardware is characterized correctly.
We have a new software build for this test, so we have a handful of new functions that we've tested on our dynos and test cells, but we haven't put them in an actual car yet. We'd like to, prove those out, and then just generally make sure that these two cars are in good shape to continue kind of the prep for Daytona.
After 3 days at the track, a broken oil line brought testing to a halt.
So the oil line that connects the engine out over to the oil cooler, that line separated from the fitting that connects to the engine. So the tube had pulled apart and then just dumped all the oil onto the floor of the car. Thankfully, the driver was able to shut off the car immediately and prevent any further damage to the engine or to the bodywork through any fires. But yeah, right now it's just more of a cleanup and a mess. But that's the best case scenario when something like this happens.
You always start out thinking, I left plenty of time. When we laid out the plan, it looked like plenty of time, but you always end up pressed at the end. It feels very tough right now because next month we're homologating and we're testing and we're getting ready for Daytona.
The Mustang GT3 isn't just a factory program though, with all the control and support that comes with it. It's also a customer car for both pro and AM drivers, which means some will be sold to and ran by private teams all over the world. So the car has to be reliable, forgiving, well-supported, and able to fit into all manner of resources, staffing, and needs of those teams. Like Dynamic GT, current SRO GT World Challenge Europe team, who got their first chance to put their drivers in the car the day after the last SRO race in Barcelona.
Right!
Using that first chassis that was tested in Sebring earlier in the year before being shipped to Europe.
The camera is running. I love Ford. It's very exciting. It's the first day with Ford today and the first rollout. This is not our car we will drive here yet. This is, let's say, the vehicle for testing.
We saw the Mustang in Spa for the 24-hour race, and when we saw it, it was like, whoa, this is aggressive. The impact is really big because we will be the only team in the GT World Challenge paddock with a Mustang. All the eyes will be on us. Today is just for discover the car, just try new drivers, so we just want to have feedback from them.
First impressions are good, and with a few laps down, the Mustang around Barcelona is faster than the car they ran the day before in the race.
This is way better.
Yeah.
But, all things tempered, the Mustang still needs to go through homologation, and then the balance of performance. So like always in racing, things could change.
You can see Philip's reaction. You can feel his emotion. He's made a very big decision to walk away from his current cars to the new car. The car we created is good for him, so that means a lot to us.
She's quite American, she's loud, she's powerful. We like it a lot.
You will know from the reaction to our unveiling and once we get racing that it's clear this is a good place for Mustang to race.